Welcome everyone to Planet of NY Sports. Here we talk Yankees, Mets, Giants, Jets, and a little bit of the Knicks and Nets. Well, both of our New York teams lost. We can get into the Giants first because the Jets, we're probably going to be talking about them for a little longer. So yeah, we'll talk about some Giants post game here. So Alex, you want to maybe start us off with the Giants post game?
It was not a good game, man. We're facing Detroit. No offense to Detroit, they have some really good young players. They have some good wide receivers and stuff, but we shouldn't have lost like that. It was definitely a real bad loss for our team. And I know, like last week, you talked about how we should rush Saquon more and try to get past this because they have like the third worst run defense in the league. But I think that they definitely came prepared for that. And then we also had a lot of opportunities that we could have taken up on, but were missed. So
Yeah, for sure. 31-18, against the Lions. That's just really sad. But there's a lot of problems. We have some more injuries. Like this, it's really concerning me. So we can talk about some of what went wrong. So I would say turnovers,
oh my gosh.
turnovers. What more can I say about the turnovers? DJ got picked off twice. It wasn't good. One of them, it can be like, okay, I'll give you a pass, but to be honest, it's not good. We can what else? I just it's just very it's just very
Yeah.
frustrating. And then the Giants run game, we couldn't do anything, and that's what happens if you can stop the Giants from running the ball. We don't have any receivers, and I don't even think Odell's coming here. I just don't think he's coming.
Especially we're playing the Lions tomorrow, and we really don't have anyone. So I really haven't. I don't know what's
Wait,
gonna
do you mean the
happen.
Cowboys? You said we're playing the Lions tomorrow.
Yeah, Cowboys. Okay, yeah. That was, what I meant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, tomorrow, there'll be a Giants pregame vid. Go ahead and watch that when it comes out. But yeah, I don't like our chances. Wandale, he's out for the year. That's just, now you're look at that pick right there. I mean, how can you expect Aiden Hutchinson to drop in coverage, but still it's kind of like, come on, seriously, all these
Yeah.
turnovers. It's just
That
really,
was just unfortunate. We couldn't we wouldn't even think about that happening.
yeah.
So.
Now we could talk about the offense, not doing really well, but the defense was not good either. The defense was not good. They did not help the offense. It's just, I don't know what was going on with Wink Martindale's pressure packages, but they were just not working on Jared Goff apparently. Which is something. Seriously, Jared Goff, what are we doing here? I can't even watch these highlights. I'm not. Let's get off of them. But anyways, so I have some numbers here. So he was consistently forced to take quicker, shorter options, and then there was time throughout the game where he missed potentially big plays because his process was rushed. But it still didn't do anything. So Amon-Ra St. Brown, he got a lot of separation, and then Khalif Raymond too, and then also Jamal Williams. I mean, they just gave him the ball when they were in the red zone, and then he just 3 touchdowns, right?
Three touchdowns. Yep.
I don't I don't know, man. And I said too, I was like, hey, watch out for, Amon-Ra St. Brown, you know, Jamal Williams, if they get in the goal line. I said that in the pregame. I don't know what went wrong. But it's definitely the worst game of the year by the Giants. Now we'll talk about the Jets. There's definitely something brewing here. I think we all know. Let's just talk about the elephant in the room here, and that is going to be this man, Zach Wilson.
Milkman himself.
Yep. So, what do we want to say about Zach Wilson, aka Stacy's mom, man? Right. So, first off, well, we know he got benched. the news came out today. Zach Wilson got benched, and Mike White will be starting. I mean, are we surprised? No, we're not surprised. Let's bring up his stats. Let's bring up how well Zach Wilson played. Alex, do you maybe want to give that to me?
Okay, let's see. So, for Zach Wilson, I know that he had a good record. I think that he played, I think with starting, he was like 5-2, and his only 2 losses were against the Patriots, which is kind of ironic. But let's see. I'll pull up the stats right now. So on the current season, he has 4 touchdowns and he's 1,200 yards with 4 touchdowns. His QB rating is currently 72.6. So, I mean, I would understand why they want to start Mike White. I mean, especially over Joe Flacco. I mean, we could just
push
him
but
to the side.
Also, Zach Wilson's not even going to be the backup, too. That's just saying something. Like, they're going to have Joe Flacco as the backup. The fact that he's not even going to dress for this game, that's very alarming. And Joe Flacco has more touchdown passes when he only played 3 games. He has 5. Zach Wilson has 4 when he played more games. I think if the Jets had a better QB, you can argue they would be like way better. You only need like a mediocre QB to win this game against the Patriots. You only need a mediocre. Look at some of these throws here. Like that one was like, it was okay. But let's get to the end here. Let's get to the end. Something very interesting happened here. Let's just watch this real quick. So they get stopped. I don't know what he's doing, like throwing there on a whatever.
31.
And then
this happens.
This is why I don't think the Jets will make the playoffs, quite frankly. That play right there. They got swept by the Patriots. So now it's kind of like, okay, you're playing for the wild card, but it's like Cincinnati and Baltimore already have like a tiebreaker over you. Now the Patriots do too. Like I don't think they will. I mean, you're playing against the Bears. You should win that game, especially with no Justin Fields. They should be able to win that game. But it's still like, you got a few tough games like at the end of the season. You'll be closing out against Miami. They'll be going to Buffalo. They'll be playing in Seattle. There's still some like tough games. I mean, I know they'll face the Lions, but the Lions, they're like such a weird team. You never know with them. Who else are they facing? I don't know. I know another bad team the Jaguars. That should be a win. But still, I don't see the Jets making the playoffs this year unless they win a game that they're not supposed to win, which is you can argue that with the Giants, but you'll see that in the pregame. But anyways, so going back to Zach Wilson, Alex, I know you had some interesting stuff, some tweets and stuff that you wanted to bring up. So what's that first one?
So first I wanted to bring up, shout out to StatMuse, on Twitter. First I wanted to bring up that the New York Jets have 11 letters in their name, which is more yards than they had in the second half, which was 7 yards in that game. Just wanted to remind everyone. And something else important that I wanted to bring up was from Robert Saleh. He said that Zach's career here is not over. I know that's going to the narrative, but the young man needs a reset. And I feel like I do kind of agree with him on this because the way he carried himself in the press conference, he kind of acted like, oh, I did a good job. It was all the defense's fault. They couldn't stop them. When in reality, I mean, you can't say that you were not to blame for anything because having 7 yards in the entire second half is unacceptable. I mean, you need to win this game. I feel like if they won against the Patriots, it would kind of be like a statement, like how they're not afraid to play the Patriots. They're able to beat them even at their own home. So like, I think he needs the coach said he definitely needs a reset. Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. But I have a stat here. So Zach Wilson has 13 touchdown passes in 20 career starts, the fewest by any QB through their first 20 starts since Brady Quinn had 12 touchdown passes from 2008 to 2012. That's something. That's very alarming. That's very alarming. Zach Wilson is arguably on the cusp of being one of the biggest busts in Jets history. Like, you shouldn't, like, and some people are saying, oh, project. No, this guy shouldn't be a project at number 2. And look at Justin Fields already. They should have picked him because look here, Justin Fields, he didn't even have to play that last year of college that he played. He didn't even have to play that year, and he would have been the second overall pick. He would have been, but no, he wanted to play that one more year. And everyone, saying, oh, he's not a leader and stuff like that. Zach Wilson wasn't even a captain his last year at BYU. He wasn't even a captain. So there's obviously some immaturity issues there. Anyways, another thing I want to bring up here. So I think Zach Wilson definitely, he handled it well. I think he realized like what he did because apparently he talked to his dad and his dad was like, yo, what the hell are you doing? Did you hear yourself? And then apparently on the bus, he was like, oh, I'm sorry, guys, blah, 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 blah. But still, the fact that his own teammates and stuff are liking, Twitter and Instagram posts of, about benching him, blah, blah, blah. He has some clear attitude issues. The fact that, he didn't want to take any responsibility. I think if he was just oh, my bad, guys, I, messed up, blah, blah, blah. I don't think he would have gotten benched. But the fact that he acted that way, I think that kind of prompted the Jets to just be like, yeah, we got to bench this guy. And apparently also someone's Rappaport said he has the yips now. I don't understand it. Apparently in training camp he couldn't even make routine throws and stuff. So if there's mechanical issues here, what's going on? Seriously.
Maturity issues and mechanical issues mixing together, that's not a good sign.
Exactly. I don't know what's going on with him, but so anyways, I don't know what to say, but okay, here. So a tweet from Zach Rosenblatt. He said, Zach Wilson handled the situation about as professionally and maturely as he could. He knows he has a lot of work to do and said that it's not only the Patriots games that were the problem. He's been missing easy throws all season. See, that goes back to my point. There's obviously some mechanical issues there. If he can't even make these easy throws, and the Jets, you're at the point now where you're trying to get to the playoffs at this point. You're not tanking at this point. So you can't sit around and wait for Zach Wilson to develop and all of this stuff. You can't do that now at this point. So you're kind of placed in a weird spot. So now, you have Mike White. I think there's definitely a possibility Zach Wilson can start again, but that just depends on what happens with Mike White. If Mike White goes and wins this week, or if he does good, then he's going to keep the job throughout the year. And if they go into the playoffs, then he's going to have a leg up on Zach Wilson. And then next year, you'll not, you won't put the fifth-year option on Zach Wilson, then you'll probably end up looking to trade him. So it's just very weird with Zach Wilson. Maybe this is what he needs, but I'm not so sure. Especially if Mike White somehow goes and balls out. I don't really know. I don't have faith in Flacco either. But but at least he's been there, so he knows. But it's still kind of and that's just alarming. The fact that he's not even dressing up as the backup. The fact that he's not even the backup, that's very alarming. That's very alarming. Because Mike White, he was the backup. And then so basically you're going to let Joe Flacco jump you in the depth chart. That's I don't know what's going on here. What do you think about that, Alex?
I mean, yeah, I kind of agree. I mean, you have this young QB, second overall pick, and now he's not even going to be the backup on your team. It's kind of just it's kind of weird that he has to be not even dressing up, like you said, and that Joe Flacco has to be the backup QB for Mike White. So I feel like they need to just figure out what's going on with him and try and fix it. Because if they have him going, then he can be good. If they use him, he's young, he has his years. They could use him to his potential, but he just needs to act right and try and get it together and see what's going on with him.
Yeah, I mean, you can argue the games that he played hasn't been enough, but then again, it's kind of like, you know, but like the Jets, they can't really, they're not going to draft a QB at this point. So like, let's say you get into a scenario next year where you're like Zach Wilson isn't the guy, and maybe Mike White isn't the guy. None of these guys. So what are you going to like sign Jimmy G in the offseason or something? I mean, like seriously.
Mm.
So anyways, CJ Mosley also said that Wilson did apologize to the team, saying that he needs to be better. So I think he realized that he messed up and stuff. So yeah, it's very puzzling. But I can also see the side of some people saying that you know so here I have a quote here from Maggie and Perloff. This is on CBS network. So it says, "I'm sick and tired of people making comparisons to me and these young QBs who haven't gotten a chance yet. I was an absolute dumpster fire. Jets fans, it's going to be all about how he deals with it, because I dealt with it the most toxic way you can." And guess who said that? Ryan Leaf. So I mean, seriously, Zach Wilson, he needs to get it together. He seriously needs to get it together. I, the Jets, I don't think they're making the playoffs. I don't think they're making the playoffs. I think this is the one game that they needed to win, and you're okay. But now, like, you look at their next few games here, I just don't think it's very likely, because let's see. Let's check the Jets next few games. So they have the Bears, that should be a win. Then you have the Vikings, that's in Minnesota, that's probably an L. Then you play Buffalo in Buffalo. I think that's another L. Then you play the Lions. I think they win that game. They'll probably beat the Jaguars, and then I think they lose the last two. I think they'll lose in Seattle, and I think they'll lose in Miami. So I feel like they really needed this Patriot game. And the fact that, like I said, a mediocre quarterback would have won this game. Mediocre quarterback. And so, some of those balls that Zach Wilson threw, those should have been picked. Like he threw a ball straight to McCourty, and he just basically dropped it and stuff like that. But like, and that was a few times. That was a few times. The Patriots, they weren't very impressive either. They weren't. Like, you put Daniel Jones would have won this game for you. I'm just saying. Daniel Jones would have won this game. Daniel Jones would have won this game. Like totally. Like, you can say what you want about Daniel Jones, but he would have won this game. That's just how like bad Zach Wilson has been so far. And like I said, the mechanical issues, like what is going on here? And apparently this has been going on since like the summertime. Like, why are we just finding out about this now? So, like I said, I think the accountability, I think he's starting to take some of it, starting to maybe, take some accountability. But I don't know. It could be too late, because if Mike White goes and balls out, hey, you may Zach Wilson. I don't know, man. I don't know. So, is there anything else you want to talk about Zach Wilson, Alex?
No, I think that's it. I'm good with Zach Wilson. I think he just, like you said, he's getting the attitude part right, but I think the mechanical issues also need to be taken into consideration at this point, because at this point in the season, if you're trying to make it to the playoffs, and you really like after this game, especially, you're definitely going to need to focus on that, because he's going to need to make some good throws in order for them to make it where they want to be.
Yeah. And also, just one more thing. There's like a lot of people out there. And like I said this like, when I was ranting about the Knicks and blah, 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 about accountability, and how when you don't butt kiss a team, there's always this group of fans that are going to be like, oh, you're a fake fan, blah, blah, blah. No, I don't think, especially as a Jets, I'm not a Jet fan, but speaking from that perspective, I don't think, Jets fans should settle like for what they're getting right now and, basically butt kiss and be like, oh, the problem with this is like over time, majority of fans gotten into the mindset that this isn't the best, but it's okay, blah, blah, blah. No. See, I'm not going to get as mad here. I'm a little more chill. But like the team is 6-4, Yeah, they're 6-4, but that's in spite of Zach Wilson. That's in spite of him. That's not because of Zach Wilson. That's not because of him. Seriously, he's here. like I said, we already heard his stats, and people are saying, oh, Peyton Manning had a bad rookie year. Yeah, but Zach Wilson is nowhere close to Peyton Manning. So I don't know where all this is coming from some fans out there that are or no, I'm not even gonna say fans. I'm gonna say apologists because that's what they are. Zach Wilson's his 20 games in the NFL have not been very good. They haven't been. He hasn't shown anyone anything to be like, oh, maybe he should start. Like if I can understand, people saying, "Oh, we're facing the Bears. Maybe he can. You should be able to beat this team, get some confidence." But like, I just think it's the whole issue, like with the locker room and stuff like that. I just don't think he could have started this game. What do you think?
Yeah, I think the same thing. I mean, you saw what happened when he what he did in that press conference, like kind of got out to the public. You saw what happened with his teammates and how they felt about it. So I feel like, yeah, I definitely agree. Like with the locker room, they definitely need to connect more.
Yeah. And like I said, like both of the Patriots games were winnable. And if you had a like literally a mediocre QB, you would the Jets would be at 8-2 right now. And you never know. They are literally good at like every other position except for the QB position. If they had a good QB, like they would be one of the top teams in the AFC right now. Seriously. Zach Wilson, he's, we'll see what happens. I think we're going to end it there, guys. Please tune in to the Giants pregame that we will be posting tomorrow because, that's going to be a very rough game. But we'll see. It's going to be Thanksgiving. Hopefully everything's good. But if you can just do me a favor, like the video and please subscribe to Planet of NY Sports. And we'll see you in the next video.